Moving on to the back, we're going to use our no guard all the way open and create our second guideline. Once we're done setting in that guideline, we're then going to slightly close the lever midway and all the way close and attack that initial guideline. Now that we're done erasing our initial guideline, we can move on to our one guard all the way open and create our third guideline. Since the hair is a little bit longer, we're going to use our comb to feed the hair into the clipper. Now that we're done softening up this line, we're moving on to the half guard and we're going to try to erase it completely using its lever and its corners. Now that I'm done with my lower guards, I'm going to move on to my two guard all the way open and feed the hair into the clipper using my comb. Using this guard and creating this guideline is going to help us connect into the 1.5 guard. After I was done using my shears a little bit on the sides, I switched over to my clipper of a comb and began to debulk, making everything as smooth as possible. Here I'm using my 3 guard all the way open and I'm getting ready for that clipper of a comb. When using your clipper of a comb, you want to make sure you cut at an angle, just like you're cutting at an angle with your shears. Moving on to the beard, we're going to debulk it with the 3 guard all the way open, going with the grain, and then line it up through the bottom using our Gold FX. Now that we're done lining up the beard, we can move on to the front line and separate his hair from the top. As you can see, there's a lot of uneven hairs that need to be cut and lined up. So I'm making sure I make an even part and I'm taking hairs that I do want to cut out. Now that we have a nice enough part, I'm going to switch over to my 1 guard all the way open and debulk the hairline. Now we're going to start off with our Gold FX in the middle and work our way to the sides. Of course, you always want to keep the vertical bars as natural as possible, so I'm making sure I don't go too in. I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. Also, if you guys want to support the channel, go ahead and leave a super thanks down below or follow the Instagram. As you can see, we're trying to match the other side as much as possible to the first side we lined up to. Man, I feel like it's looking crispy, man. Leave a comment down below if you feel like it's crispy. Now that we're done with the cut, we can move on to our Turkish razor and Durable Premium blades and make them as crispy as possible. You always want to make sure you keep the blade at a 45-degree angle and stretch the skin as much as possible with your opposite hand. This lowers the likelihood of you cutting someone. You also want to pay very high attention to this area. Moving on to the back, we're starting off with our no guard all the way open, creating our second guideline. You want to make this guideline around 1 inch thick so you can spread the blend, especially when you're near the occipital bone because the hair is pretty much a lot denser in the back. We're then going to slightly close the lever midway and all the way close and attack that initial guideline. Now that we're done erasing our initial guideline, we can move on to our 1 guard all the way open and create our third guideline. We're then going to slightly close the lever midway and all the way close and attack that guideline. Now that the guideline is soft enough, we're moving on to our half guard and we're going to use our lever to erase the line completely. We are right on top of the occipital bone, so we're going to make sure we spend more time here. Moving on to our 2 guard all the way open, we're creating our 4th guideline and we're going to get it ready for the 1.5 guard. This guard is going to also help us create our silhouette. As you guys can see, now that the line is soft enough with our 2 guard, we can move on to our 1.5 guard and erase the line completely. Using our 3 guard all the way open and our comb to feed the hair into the clipper, we're going to go ahead and debulk the calic area. Again, we're gonna slightly saturate the hair so it's easier to pick up with our clipper of a comb. As you can see, we're using our vertical cuts to blend and our horizontal cuts to debulk. Now that we're done with the back, I'm moving back to the C-cups with our gold FX, and I'm making sure I detail as much as possible. Moving on to the other side of the C-cup, we're going to use our corner of the blade to go as slow as possible and make sure that the hair feeds into the teeth of the trimmer. Moving on to our shear work, we're going to saturate the top and create our first guideline in the middle of the capitus. You always want to make sure the hair is nice and laid down in the direction the hair is growing so you could get a nice and even cut. As you can see, we're making our way to the sides and we're following that same guideline we made right across the middle. Again, I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe is greatly appreciated. Also, if you guys want to support the channel, make it keep going, go ahead and leave a super thanks down below or follow the Instagram. As you can see, we're using our thinning shears to thin out the hair as much as possible. Since my little brother's hair is very straight, we're going to give it some texture. Here we're grabbing the hair near the parietal ridge and we're cutting it at an angle, and this is going to thin it out and making sure that the